Portugal won its first piece of major silverware this weekend, where, by contrast, Serena Williams won her 22nd Grand Slam title. To discuss these results and more, I'm joined in studio by Sport24 editor Garen Lamley and chief writer Rob Howing. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in. Good to have you both back in studio. Big weekend, sporting weekend, so quite a lot to get through. So, Rob, to welcome you back, I'm going to start with you. And you're a football man, as we know. The Euro final last night went into extra time, probably in parts not the prettiest game, but finals football, and eventually the goal coming by someone who was sort of not really a big goal scorer for Portugal.
Exactly. I mean, I was just so pleased that the game was settled in sort of, during regulation football time, if you like, although it was extra time, that we actually got a goal from open play because, one is so used to seeing major tournaments go to the dreaded penalty shootout. I almost find it's a little bit of it's an undesirable sort of system because you always get the sense after about 50 or 60 minutes in one of these major finals, a World Cup or a Euro, that everything becomes so much more sort of cat and mouse, and you just sort of sit back thinking, oh, well, we've got to wait now an hour or so still until we get to penalties. So it was very pleasing that the game was settled by a really good Eder goal in open play. It was the sort of strike that probably deserved to win the tournament. And considering that Portugal had lost Cristiano Ronaldo in about, I think it was about the 25th minute, after he'd sort of soldiered on for 5 or 10 minutes with clearly what was a debilitating knee injury, and you thought, is that going to be, something that cooks the goose of the Portuguese? Instead, they actually got, quite fired up. They sort of almost rallied behind the remaining players, and they proved that they're not really a one-man team, that they could actually win it. I mean, France had some amazing opportunities to win the game, hitting the upright, right near the end of ordinary time. And say what you like about the Portuguese. It's I know that they got through their group stage without winning, and only got through into the knockouts by being one of the best placed third place sides, and found goals quite hard to come by a lot of the time. But they did the business, and the Euros are a strength versus strength tournament. More so even than a World Cup. So no complaints. They won 1-0. It's etched in history, and good luck to them. France left to just rue, the chances that they had, and that yes, it was theirs for the taking on home turf, but just not to be.
Are you surprised by the end result, Rob? I mean, considering some of the big guns that competed in this tournament, and I mean, why has it taken Portugal sort of so long to win something? I guess you could call this their golden generation.
Yeah, I don't know if this will necessarily be a precursor to any kind of Portuguese dominance of European football. I still think things are a lot more fluid than that. I still suspect that perhaps Germany may well be the best team in Europe. I thought they played some of the best football at times during the tournament. Yet of course they came up short at a critical stage. Didn't play well in their semi-final, so they'll be only too aware of that. I still think that they will be the team that sort of is the strongest European side. But look, we did see some nice fairy tale instances at this tournament. Great that Iceland, Wales, became these sort of heavy punching underdogs, real sort of success stories. They sort of won although they didn't win, sort of thing. So those little stories are always good for football. It's always nice to see sort of small nations come to the fore and get a little bit of a sort of a cult following from neutrals. But as I say, I don't necessarily think that Portugal are now going to sort of do a Spain and sort of start dominating world or European football for any pronounced time to come. I don't think there's enough quality in that Portuguese side, frankly, to be for them to be sort of long-term sort of dominators of Europe.